Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to do a quick guide on where the heck you can farm as a Paladin in Classic World of... Seriously? As a Paladin in Classic World of Warcraft? I'm not built for AoE tanking, like I just tried it over here and I damn near almost died. I've got the gear, but I don't have the level, right? You really need level 41, you really need Blessing of Sanctuary, otherwise you're just better off being a single target with a knightly longsword. But I'm going to at least show you the kind of environment you want to be in. You want to avoid like high density mob areas. Basically, if you look up like AoE grinding guides for mage, just straight up avoid those areas. They have the highest mob density in the game, and they're just going to be infested with mages and other classes. Paladins really shine in like wide open areas where you can gather up like a bunch of a small pack of beast mobs, like 3 or 4 at a time, kind of a thing. And how you'll normally do this is you'll use rank 1 consecration to do it, and you'll judge. Ooh, where's the nearest spider? All the way over here? Damn. Okay. So you can see how we're keeping this guy leashed with rank 1 consecration. We're going to throw another rank 1 consecration down. We're going to get our judge on here. And then you can see we have it all nice and set up to AoE all these mobs down, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Now, I'm actually just going to run for my damn life, and I'm going to do it properly. I'm actually going to heal to full. That's how you run for your life as a Paladin, Classic WoW Hardcore. Alright, cool. Then we're going to run away. And if I get trapped with anything, we will Blessing of Freedom out of that. Just keep it moving. Do. Okay, I'm going to go bop, just to keep it moving again. And we're free and clear. Yeah, I don't want to do that because it looks absolutely terrible. But the idea is you find these wide open areas and you just use rank 1 consecration to gather up the mobs. You even do this at max rank level, if that makes any sense. Alright, so let's try this again. Just for a showcase. Alright. So we're going to... Oh, that's bad. Alright, cool. We got all 3. If I wanted 4, what would I do? We try to keep running, try to run at an angle. You do the jump back thing if you want, but it's like whatever. And then boom, we got all 4 mobs. Now, your boy needs to try to get the hell out of here without dying. It's just going to be fun. So, we are going to spend all your mana to heal to full. We're going to bubble back for quite some time. Just going to throw a Blessing of Freedom down preemptively. Ugh. Brutal. Anyways, we should be free and clear here. We're fine. Okay, cool. Anyways, yeah, use rank 1 consecration and just gather up a nice little pack of mobs in the area and yada yada yada. Okay, so the next thing we got to do is I want to log over to my high level character and actually show you and talk about where good farming locations are. And I thought about different ways of doing this. Like, should I actually, like, you know, pause the video and actually, like, you know, show you the location, or should I just open up my map and talk about it? I spent quite a bit of time thinking about this, hoping to give you guys, like, some actual good information. Like, you know, go here and farm specifically here, because while you're farming, you can actually, at the same time, gather up some resources, which you can then sell on the auction house for money. And that'll help you get your stamina intellect gear, you know, yada yada yada. Didn't really work out that way. This is one of the reasons I'm out here in Swamp of Sorrows, or I DC'd out Swamp of Sorrows trying to make that video. There's some real dangerous stuff out in Swamp of Sorrows, but it's not the worst place in the world to AoE grind as a Paladin. There's just a giant death dragon that patrols this area, like right here, so you tend to stay the hell away from it. But Swamp of Sorrows is really nice, particularly in this area when you're like level 35, level 36, if you're an herbalist, because this is where bruiseweed basically is. Not bruiseweed, blindweed, there we go. Blindweed, and it's, like, you know, rather quite valuable. I have a vague memory that there's a bunch of crabs out here that are pretty damn good for AoE grinding on. Just because crab meat is actually really good. I remember I like the shore for AoE grinding out here. If I just needed an isolated location for AoE grinding purposes. You got the crocodiles, you got the crabs. This water's full of crocodiles and full of crabs, but there really isn't anything all that interesting. One of the better things to do is try to find grinding spots that are by the water, especially if you have, like, you know, fishing available to you. That way you can, you know, just walk down the shore, pick up the mobs, grind it down, and periodically you'll get fishing. It's also not the worst thing in the world for herbalism, because, you know, you get, like, stranglethorn kelp and so forth and so on. But let me find a secluded spot, and we'll talk about actual good grinding locations as far as the map is concerned. If I can find my M key. Jesus. Alright, so level 40. So level 35, level 36. Right here's really good if you have herbalism. Herbalism, you got three options while you're leveling, right? You can be a skinner, you could be a miner, or you can be an herbalist in conjunction with your engineering as a paladin. Herbalism's probably the best one out of the three in the grand scheme of things, just because where you're going to be AoE farming, there's going to be a lot more herbs available than anything else. There's some damn construction going on upstairs, driving me nuts. You're going to get a lot worse later on, that's for sure. Herbalism's really good. Mining's probably the worst one, but when you get good at mining, it's not that big of a deal. Skinning slows you down, but it's also really good because you're going to be killing a ton of mobs that you can skin if you're doing the AoE thing. Alright, so level 41, level 40, this beach is pretty good as long as you're not AoE grinding the murlocs. You can pop into this area here decently. Swamp of Sorrows over here, level 35, level 36, level 37, somewhere around there. There's really good herbs that sell quite well in this location. Blasted lands, actually, let's keep this video centered primarily around... What's the term I want to use here? Level. Yeah, level-oriented. Okay. Also, level 41, AoE grinding mobs. I really like this beach. Not here. The pirates are terrible. But this beach right here, I like grinding on the turtles. You can jump into the water and grab a couple of them. You know, get like three, kill like 3 of them at a time. Why is this? Because this beach is full of like stone scale eel. Which is really good to fish and is super, super valuable, especially in hardcore, I imagine. So as you're grinding, you'll just periodically fish them up. It's not a problem. In the abyssal sands right here in Tenacis, there's a bunch of bones where a bunch of hyenas and vultures hang out. They're really good for AoE grinding for a paladin. And they run some crazy levels. Like, it starts at like level 40, and then it goes like level 44, and then it goes like level 46 as you get closer to the ogres in this area. The ogres also aren't the worst thing in the world to grind on, but I'd kind of, not really. You can't skin them or anything like that, but the herbs are just kind of good out there. The Noxious Lair is not the worst thing in the world to grind on. But I wouldn't really recommend it. And of course, there's always STV. That you can grind on around about level 40. Stranglethorn Vale, but that's mostly this damn island out here is full of gorillas that aren't the worst thing in the world to grind on. I can't remember if they earth shock you or not, but if they don't earth shock you, this isn't the worst thing in the world to grind on. There's just lots of really good grind spots in Stranglethorn Vale, but mages usually infest those lands. So usually mage infestation here. There'll be a mage infestation by the raptors. There'll be a mage infestation. Just try to avoid areas where basically if you find a mage, you know, whatever. The general TLDR of AoE grinding as a paladin is that when you enter a new zone, yeah, you don't want to know this. When you enter a new zone, just start questing, but at the same time, look for a good place to AoE farm. And you can just very easily gather up, like, you know, 4 or 5 mobs at a time, kind of a deal. Not 4 or 5 if it's hardcore. So there's basically, I keep saying this, but there's 2 AoE grinding scenarios for you as a paladin. The first one is you gather up 3 mobs, you spend about 2/3 of your mana bar to burn them down. You drink until you're about 70% mana, you get up, you gather another 3 mobs, you do it all over again, and then you sit down to fully recover by drinking mana. Again, you need to grab a mage and shake them and make them give you water, otherwise it's really expensive to AoE farm as a paladin. So that's option 1 is you do 3 3-pack mobs at a time. in that sequence. The other one is you try to grab about 4 or 5 mobs at a time, dump all your mana, grind them down, and then do a full recovery. Both of those scenarios actually have about the same XP per hour, and one of them is a lot easier and a lot safer on a highly populated server, and that's the 3 mob pull variant that I keep demonstrating in this video, if you're following along with this, okay? So highly suggested that you just stick with 3 mobs at a time, 3 mobs at a time, 3 mobs at a time, and you can do 3 mobs at a time for AoE grinding as a paladin virtually any place in the game, right? The damn panthers around here all over the place. Okay, cool. Let's get back to the map. Other places are the hinterlands, which I don't even think I've been on this paladin. The trolls, I think, run away, if I recall correctly, which sucks. But there's some wildlife out here. That's not the worst thing in the world to AoE grind on as a paladin. There's some damn slimes round about this area inside of a cave that are really good to AoE grind on. That's one of the special places you would go if you were a mining paladin, but expect to see a mage infestation there as well, so ugh, it is what it is, right? What else do we talk about? Tenaris, Tenacis. The dew collectors out here are a popular grind spot location, like literally right in this area. And then very quickly, you'll just end up in Unguro Crater eventually. And just about anything in Unguro Crater is worth AoE farming on, as long as you know to avoid the giant T-Rexes of death. Where the hell are the T-Rexes of death? There's one T-Rex that patrols this area over here. The Raptors are going to be Mage Farm City. There's another T-Rex that patrols somewhere in this area. I highly suggest you look up where the hell the T-Rexes patrol so you don't die horribly. You're a paladin, so you shouldn't get killed by them, but it's just kind of nice to know where the hell you should avoid the giant T-Rexes. This place right here along the fire plume isn't the worst thing in the world. The pterodactyls are kind of annoying because they'll fear you and whatnot. So this is level 31, I think. Yeah, if I recall correctly. Where's the other place? It would be Western Plaguelands. Western Plaguelands, all these farms are going to be mage infestations. Stay the hell away from them. Even Hearthglen and stuff will be a mage infestation. There's some wildlife over here you could AoE farm if the mages haven't taken over there. This place is a good AoE farm, but it's also going to be a mage infestation. Stay the fuck away from Ruins of Anderhall. Holy shit, you'll die so fucking fast it'll make your head spin. Stay the hell away from the Withering Haunt, and I think this thing as well. There's some ghouls out there that'll ice cube you into oblivion. Basically, they'll stun you to lock you to death, which is absolutely horrifying. Good wildlife. Basically just grab the wildlife 3 at a time and burn them down, kind of a deal. I think the only other place to go... Oh, yeah, Herbalism. My bad. I forgot about Herbalism. Herbalism. There we go. A really good grind spot in Herbalism. There's a lot of them, actually, in Herbalism. But Camp Monachi can get you killed really fast. Where the hell is it? It's right outside of Dire Mall. Is a really good farm location for wildlife. You just gather up the wildlife and you burn them down. This shore down here, I think, isn't the worst thing in the world. I could be wrong. It's been a million years since I've been to Herbalism. I could go check it out at the end of the video and just start making my way over there right now. I can never remember if it's a good grind spot on that shoreline or not, because I'm a big fan of grinding and fishing at the same time. I haven't spent enough time in Ajara to know if there's any good grind spots there. Every time I go there, all I see is Naga, so it's like, eh. I haven't really been there that much either. What else is there to talk about? Yeah, the general rule that I live by when I play Paladin is... Where the hell do I want to go? Probably want to go this way. Yeah. That's a good question. Wait a minute. Dark Shore to Herbalism? Yeah, okay. Is just enter a new zone, do what quests you can that are within your range group, and while you're questing in the zone, just look for a good area that you can AoE farm, right? You don't have a lot of requirements. It's just mobs that aren't super annoying and don't like to run away from you all that much. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just grab 3 of them. Hopefully there's no mages in the area, you know, yada yada yada. And you'll do that for like a level or so, or until you get bored, and then you'll do a dungeon. Then when you're done doing a dungeon, you'll go back to AoE grinding, and then you'll do that for like a level or two, and then you'll just start questing again. And then once the quests are kind of timed out, you just go back to AoE farming out a level or two, do some dungeons. And my life is usually about a third AoE grinding, a third dungeons, and then a third questing in World of Warcraft, just so I don't get bored. But I've been trying real hard to find some like good grind locations that are also kind of lucrative. Like, you know, that means like you can make money from the AoE grind locations, but it just doesn't seem to be happening unless you're specifically you're an herbalist, because an herbalist can basically AoE grind any area they want in the game practically and still get plenty of herb action. Blasted Lands, there's a giant death dragon in Blasted Lands. It's not the worst AoE farming location in the world, Blasted Lands, but there's a giant death dragon that follows this kind of path, like right here. It follows a clockwise pattern. Literally in this area, I think. Let's just right around here where you see my mouse going. So the rule of Blasted Lands is, if you're AoE farming or farming in Blasted Lands in general, you always face clockwise. My bad. You face your character counterclockwise so you can see the giant death dragon coming and get the hell out of the way. But yeah, general rule, just quest and look for good farm locations, like pure and simple. A lot of those are going to be on the shoreline, but a lot of them also aren't on the shoreline because it's just infested with Naga or Murlocs or something stupid like that. Anyways, I'm going to pause the video and go out to Herbalism and see what the AoE farm location looks like over there. Maybe showcase what it looks like around Dire Mall, like I was talking about, and Data's Fault Boys. Alright, cool, we're out here, and yeah, I just remembered that this is a place you want to stay the hell away from while you're leveling. Just a bunch of water elementals, which are going to do frost damage to you, which sucks. Come here, do your thing. That's cute. Can you actually do it? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Alright, whatever. We have seen enough. Oh yeah, those guys out there, they do nature damage to you. What else we got going on around here? Alright, pause the video again, I guess. Yeah, don't mind me here, guys. Just got a little bit sidetracked. Apparently I found like 1 million bots. I just decided like they needed to be dealt with, I guess. Jesus. Anyways, this is right outside of Dire Mall. This is one of the farm areas that I really enjoy. So level 44 mobs, give or take. So you got the wolves, you got the bears, you got the scale serpents. They're all over the place. Really good for gathering them up as a paladin. Over here is not that great, but really it's this nice little secluded area right here, give or take, that I actually personally enjoy. This is one of the better single target farm locations for Paladin. Like two-handed Paladins like coming here and just kind of murdering things. That's one of Jakova's favorite areas. They actually showed me this damn area. So you got the wolves, you got the bears. Very nice and secluded. The graveyard's close by. Not that that matters in hardcore, but in World of Warcraft, I mean in PvP server, it actually really does. And these mobs respawn fairly quickly for some reason or another. I don't really know why. But anyways, I'm in the video here, and Data's Fault Boys. Damn, alright. He already wants me. Swink. Do a practice run. Gather up our mobbers. Keep them in combat. And that's boom. It's a 4-map mob pack. Just burn them down. Nothing to see here. Alright, well I'm in the video here, and Data's Fault Boys. Oh, there's one last thing to talk about, actually, come to think of it. Wasn't I talking about that? I was talking about Fellwood. Where the hell's Fellwood? Fellwood, yeah. Lots of mobs that are really good to farm in Fellwood. Should end that real quick here. Fellwood's also really good. It's like a level 48-ish area. So if you enter Fellwood from Ashen Vale, the mobs down here are really good to farm. Stay the hell away from the Timber Maw. What else the hell? Wow, seriously? Bro. Alright. Cool. Yeah, all the mobs in Fellwood are absolutely amazing to farm, especially the wildlife in particular. The demons aren't the worst thing in the world to farm, but that's going to be like a mage infestation, generally speaking. So me personally, also the herbs are absolutely amazing over there. But yeah, just find a nice secluded area where there's no damn mages, and just grab the random wildlife and farm them. It's really that simple. This construction is going to drive me insane. All right, well, anyways, Day is full, boys.